Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Inside Cornerstone, your weekly look at everything going on at Cornerstone First Global Methodist Church here in Alexander City, Alabama. Brett Pritchard and Billy Coleman here with you as we are every week. And, Coach, we're getting even closer to Christmas. A couple more weeks away now.
Brett, it just gets more and more fun. It sure is. It's great working with you. And this time of year, I mean, we don't have to do much planning on the show.
We don't.
Because the material presents itself in the season of the year, you know.
It does. If we can't find something to talk about this time of year, we probably need to give
I agree.
Hey, I want to thank our sponsors on the program, and couldn't do it without them, and all those funds go for this broadcast and go to our Wednesday night dinner at the church and help fund that. So just a lot of thanks goes to them. And you know, voice is a little bit better. It's still a little bit raspy from last week. Also, I did high school football all weekend, the Super 7 state championship.
Some good ones, wasn't it?
Some real good ones. Some real good games. So I've kind of been through the gauntlet as far as being a little under the weather, and then adding the fact you got to call 2 or 3 of those games. So.
I got a question. What did you see at that in that venue that surprised you? Something you didn't know. What jumped out there? Something different. Team, maybe.
At the Super 7?
Yeah. Sometimes you say, I didn't know about that guy.
I mean, a lot of with the research that we do and all, most of those guys.
Not surprised.
Not surprised. Well, you know, I will say this, and it's not really a surprise, but it's Fife every.
I knew you were going.
Well, and I'm
gonna say why. I know Fife well.
Well, if you don't know Fife in this state, you.
Yes, true.
But Paul Benefield, and I know we're gonna get back up. We're not gonna make this about sport.
I know.
But Fife in Little Fife, Alabama, when you look at their team run on the field, and you see, you know, again, hats off to Reeltown, which is right here in this area, a phenomenal year. You know, if I'm looking off the hoof and Reeltown runs out of the tunnel and Fife runs out of the tunnel, I'm taking Reeltown every single time with what they have. But it's a culture. It's what those kids buy into at a very young age, and they do it and replicate it so much that it's just second nature to them. And you know, they're mistake free, fundamental. I'm gonna put a hat on a hat every play. Everybody's going to give max effort, and they win. I think that was, I may be off on this, 6 out of the last 7 years.
Brett, they've always been that way.
I know it.
And they used to have a powerlifting meet up in North Alabama, and I'd always take my kids to it in class. And I'm going to tell you something else, and of course you know this. You're looking at a group of kids that work.
No,
they work all the time, and they're as strong as they can be. They're as fast as they can be, and like you said, they play together. They're coachable. Man, I've
watched Fife long enough not to get baited into that trap when they come out. And you go, how did this team go?
But other teams take the bait.
They do, and until they line up and they snap the football, and it's like, okay, I get it now. But anyway,
and there's some Christian stuff in that.
Oh, absolutely.
God takes us. We may not be the biggest or the strongest or the fastest, but God takes us, and He can use us to do things that we didn't think we could do.
I think the God thing in that too, to me, shows you it's not one player. It's what you do as a team, and everybody understanding their role, and everybody buying into that philosophy, and not putting themselves above everybody else out there. And you know, Paul Benefield, tip your hats, one of the winningest coaches in the state. Mm-hmm. He tells me after the game, says, I think this may be next year may be my best team ever.
Really?
Next year.
And that community, I mean, they're just they love it. It's like the early church. I mean, they were all on the same page. And don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing football to Christ, but I am saying the unity and the togetherness that the early church had made it so unique and different. And and they have those elements.
They do.
In it. They really do.
Well, our good buddy Barry Dunn came up to the game. I got him a pass, and he came down on the sideline, and you know, but he's got ties to Fife. I think his first cousin married to Paul Benefield, who's the head coach, and he said if you look out of the stadium and there's a house just beyond the end zone out on the right, he said that was his mom and dad's house. So, or his mom, maybe his mom's house where she grew up. Anyway, he's got a lot of ties to that area.
Great.
So a lot of you obviously remember Barry and his time here in Alexander City.
Well, I'm the one that asked the question, but I just thought that's a great answer, and that's a great example. I'm glad we talked about it.
It is, and we could go on and on about what went on the last couple of days up there. But want to talk about everything going on in our church, and we got a lot going on. The airing of this show starts on Wednesday, so when you see this, you'll know about what you're about to talk about in the Wednesday night dinner theater that's coming up tomorrow. And as you see it, it'll be that night. But a lot of work, a lot of preparation been put in for this.
Today is Wednesday, as you said, and immediately I'm going to fly over to the Arbor and meet some guys, and we're going to try to set it up. We got a huge stage situation, and it's beautiful. I mean, the scenery. The children are doing a really top-notch play while the adults are out there eating. It's a dinner theater.
I love it.
And we're putting 300. We've got 300 signed up for the meal part of it. And, the Arbor's a great place, but, I mean, that's going to be a challenge getting it all set up. But everybody's pitching in. Cornerstone women will be actually bringing the food to those that are sitting at the tables.
Wow.
I mean, and, they met today. And I like to throw this out. They're very young. They're very young. I mean, they're really young ladies, but they're also young. Whew.
I didn't know.
Their organization is also very young, and they're giving $3,200 of their vanilla sale, which is unbelievable. They've sold all their vanilla, and $3,200 to the girls' ranch.
Man,
and awesome. I want to mention that because it sounds like we just are out there partying, spiritually speaking, and having all these activities. But the girls' ranch, what a wonderful cause, and so there they are doing that, and they're going to help with our youth center. I mean, we have Feast of Sharing. We've mentioned that, where people in the community come for a meal and stuff.
Right.
So the outreach and the trying to help others, that's part of the church too.
And the girls' ranch experienced tragedy last year.
Did they?
With that trip coming back from the beach, and you just don't ever, you never get over that.
No.
So I know so many people were hurt by that, and that
Right.
such a tragic accident when everybody learned about it. But I know so many have reached out and gone down there and helped. And
Yes.
Good to see that.
Our youth went down there and painted the fences down there not long ago.
My daughter was part of that group, and
Great
she
project.
talked about that, and that's what it's really all about,
Sure.
the outreach. But kind of go back to this event on Wednesday night and continue to talk about that because again, you're talking about the stage and all that, but the kids have put in a lot of work.
They have. They've put in a lot of work, and they've worked hard on their scenery, and it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be
Do you know what the theme is?
If you've been in it's. I think it's the manger story or something.
Okay.
But they took the stage and moved it back from where our services would be to give us as much room as we could have for the seating. Let's mention the generals. They're going to be providing the food.
And they're our staple, aren't they?
They are there, and they love us. They help us. They help us with anything.
Right.
And they do our Wednesday night meal, but it's been a lot of work going into it. We're going to take a little during the holidays, a little break from the Wednesday night after this. Probably go back on January the 10th. So honoring time with family and doing those things this time of year that we only do once a year. Trying to fit that in, but we're also having a multitude of services to go along with that.
Well,
but I think it's going to be great tomorrow night. Can't wait.
I think last week we talked about that a lot as far as finding time for yourself and your family.
Yes, right.
And trying to cut back on.
It's a balancing act.
The running around. I know everybody's got things they've got to do and places they got to go, and it is Christmas party season with your businesses and your your schools, and there's just so much going on. But to me, the calming of all of it is not maybe the week of Christmas leading up to Christmas Day, but maybe that week after.
I think
and they kind of decompress a little bit, and I think that's important that you find some time to just kind of take some time for you and your family,
right,
and do some things just yourself. So, but we're up against our first break of the show. We come back. We got a lot to talk about here on Inside Cornerstone.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau tri-tunes, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Medicine Express Family Pharmacy, located conveniently at the corner of Airport Drive and Highway 280 in Alexander City, offers friendly service, convenient drive-through service, and can answer any questions on prescriptions and vitamins. Local family owned with 30-plus years of pharmacy experience, they also offer compounding services, which includes personalized hormone replacement, therapies, and pain gels. And they accept most insurance and discount cards. Go see them today at Medicine Express Family Pharmacy.
Amanda Scroggins with RE/MAX Around the Lake will cover every inch of Lake Martin's 880 miles of shoreline to find your family's dream home. Amanda's experience is top-notch, and she is consistently a top 10 RE/MAX agent in the state of Alabama. Her love for her clients is sincere and from the heart. Call her today at 256-749-6634 or visit her website, amandascroggins.com, today.
Hey everybody, I'm Brett.
Billy.
And I'm Matt.
And we want you to join us each week for Inside Cornerstone. Coach, Matt, excited to have this show on every single day throughout the week leading up to Sunday.
Jesus Christ is going to be glorified in everything we do. You won't just be listening to messages. You're going to be hearing about things going on at our church.
And make sure you join us at our worship services 9 and 11 o'clock.
Join us each week right here on Inside Cornerstone on WAXC TV.
As your State Farm team, we will be there for you with the financial strength to deliver on our promises. Service that's a sure thing. You can think of us as your good neighbors who help protect what's important to you. We're here when you need us the most. You can call us 24/7 to get answers to your questions, file a claim, or see if we can find you more ways to save. We have many coverages and many discounts. We can help protect more areas of your life and find every discount you qualify for along the way. Please call us or visit 2048 Cherokee Road for coverage you can count on.
For 30 years, Derek Blythe has built a reputation in the Alexander City area as the family attorney. He's always been passionate about fighting for his clients because he believes everyone deserves an advocate in their corner. People of his community deserve to have someone in their corner to fight for them. And he loves making lasting relationships with those people and their family. Whether you're seeking child custody, divorce, visitation, looking for compensation after being injured in a car accident, probating an estate, dealing with a contractual dispute, fighting criminal charges, Eric Blythe is here for you.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Welcome back, everyone, to Inside Cornerstone. This past week, the live nativity was on Friday. I missed it. I was calling that Saraland and Clay Chalkville game.
What a game.
But I missed it, not but because it was
Sure.
a cool event, but
Yeah.
my daughter was the angel on top of
She
the.
was an angel
on
up
top of
there.
the-
I saw her up there.
She was
oh, yeah.
hanging out on top of the manger up there.
Yeah, sometimes she kind of. I
Yeah.
thought she's gonna maybe fly off or something.
Wouldn't be surprised. but she really enjoyed that, and I know everybody that was involved in that that really sung high praises.
Yeah.
Weather was nice. Had cars coming through, kind of pretty consistently. So
We had some animals there. We had some alpacas that were quote unquote, camels.
right.
But those things, I don't like it when an animal looks more intelligent than me. But those alpacas look at you and you're saying, can they talk? I mean, they're very intelligent looking. Have you seen them?
Your soul, don't they?
They
They
got
kinda
that
stare-
deep eye.
They'll stare into you like.
But we had to, I think we have established a new tradition at Cornerstone.
With the live nativity.
I think we'll keep going on that. We had a sizable number of people that drove by.
Right.
It was great. The wise men weren't the best looking guys I've ever seen, but
But that's why they're wise.
but they were rich.
what they didn't have in looks, they made up for with
But they were
brains.
great. Shepherds, I mean, and the animals, it was a great experience, and everybody was talking about it. And I can almost guarantee you that next year we'll have one. And our guys built the manger, and I mean, it was
Unbelievable.
first class. It was
Yeah.
good.
Is that manger in storage somewhere?
I hope so. It's still out now.
Yeah,
but
right.
no, I'm sure they're going to continue to use it.
Oh yeah, it needs to be.
Yeah.
But
I bet you could make a tomb out of it in Easter.
probably
Put a cover over a rock,
And there you already got an idea.
Maybe. We'll
Move it
see.
up for hey, we'll blink. It'll be Easter. That's
You're
how
right.
fast it comes
Yeah,
around.
that's true.
But a great event. I heard a lot of people talking about it. Saw pictures on Facebook of people taking.
Yeah,
You know,
it went well.
just kind of the encapsulation of why we celebrate.
Oh,
It's all-
exactly. You're right. You go back to that story. Never gets old. I mean, I through the years I've done a lot of Christmas sermons, but I've never gravitated away from the story. I mean, every message it goes back to the story. Some stories are worth repeating.
Oh man, this one.
You brought up some thoughts that I, growing up, watching certain guys that you idolized playing the game and stuff like that. Maybe even setting a stage for you to go into sports and coaching yourself, just watching all that. We love to relive and re-talk about those stories.
Right.
And every message that I've ever done for this season of the year always comes from the story. Right. I even wrote a play called The Story that
Really?
was shown up in the Coleman area. We did it a few years and stuff, but we took it all the way to the cross, though, the resurrection.
Well, that you talked about that in your sermon. We'll talk
Yes.
about that a little bit later on. But
Cradle to cross.
You walk
Yes.
from the cradle that we had up there in the arbor to the cross. That's
Right.
the entire story.
That's
I mean,
it.
you can't have one without the other.
That's right.
And I want to talk about the characters part of the story, Joseph and Mary, and you can kind of intertwine, and we can carry this over into the next segment too, Coach. But the importance of everybody that was involved and what went on in that story, and kind of how the timeline of events took place, and you talked about the inn. There's no room in the inn, and that really kind of was the theme of your sermon. But the fact that the biggest event in the world took place in a barn, basically. Yeah, I mean,
And that was the plan.
that's right. That wasn't by
No.
mistake. It wasn't because somebody didn't check with somebody.
There are no accidents and no happenstance in the Bible. It is part of God's plan. And I made a comment. Hopefully, people thought it was funny, but I said, God, this has been predicted since Genesis.
Yeah.
We've been talking about this event all through the Bible, and what, God forgot to make a reservation? I mean, how do you not have a room for them when you've been preparing for this for thousands of years?
right.
Well, the reason is it wasn't supposed to be that way.
Right.
You know, you want to talk about Joseph a little?
Yeah, I want to talk about. I want
Yeah.
to go back real quick. I mean, I've definitely got
go.
Joseph that we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
But you know, everything you see in the Bible is it. Well, and let me see if I can say this the right way without sounding dumb. It's the most meek and modest and down to earth, no pun intended, settings and things that take place, and the people that are prominent are common people.
Right.
And you know that you just look. It's never about gold. It's never about riches. It's never about being in the most pristine of environments.
Right.
It's the birth of Jesus being in a manger. You know, it's about Jesus being crucified in one of the most grotesque places that you can envision. You can almost smell it.
Right.
You know, being next to a garbage dump or something like that.
No, it was next to a garbage dump.
The realness of life that we
Right.
all experience. It's not some on the pedestal where it makes you feel like you're unassociated with it.
I
If
agree.
anything, it's the opposite of that. It's where everybody can feel like, hey, I've been there, or I know what they're going through, or I know what they went through.
We have to fancy everything up, and
Right.
the story out of the Bible isn't fancied up. It's people. I mean, the shepherds were not at the top
No.
class. I
No, they
mean,
weren't.
it was just regular people being part of God's plan.
And God calling on normal people.
It's all about that.
I mean, that's really what everything
yes.
throughout the Bible is.
Yes, and the little things that we skip over. You talked about no room in the inn. Well, let's get to the shepherds. What does that mean? There's no room in the inn. Wow. And the whole message, I guess we'll talk about later, was about no room for Jesus. But
Has anybody ever asked why somebody maybe didn't give up their room? I've never thought about that until just now.
you know the answer to that question? Because nobody knew who he was.
That's right. But I'm just saying.
I've
brother,
heard that discussed,
maybe
yes.
from just the standpoint of like.
Just common.
I know,
yeah, a lady's fixing to have a baby.
Right,
right?
lady's about to have a
Yeah,
baby.
right.
Hey, can we get her outside of can we get her inside maybe?
Great question.
I mean, that is that's part of the, the.
I'm sure
the
we
mysteries.
would live our room up, around.
Maybe they said maybe the circumstances were so imminent they didn't have time to, they needed to be right there. And
Well, half of the people there might have been born in an unusual setting. I mean,
Right.
they knew what tough life was. I mean,
True.
they weren't. But that actually is a really, really good question. Yeah.
I just, again, never really have ever thought about that. And you got, a young couple that, about to have a baby, and it's cold, and you're gonna put them out there with the animals,
It looked like some lady would have come out and said, "Let me help." But
right? And then they were just kind of.
I like to go on record as saying I'm so thankful that I haven't ever delivered a child in my life. And
Well,
Joseph, he was a man. Now I'm telling you.
Well, I want to go back to that point, and it's not a slight toward anybody back then, but it kind of maybe is symbolic of the way this world is. How many times we see people in need that we just we don't reach out. That didn't happen back then. It's happening today. There's a lot of people out there in need that get ignored.
Absolutely.
They get looked over. So that to me was kind of an interesting spin or a tie to that.
Man in here, man hasn't really changed much.
Oh, they haven't.
We look a little different maybe, but it's the same problem. I mean, let's take sin, for example. Sin is sin. We struggle with it just as much as they did, and we're human, and man hasn't. Everything else has changed, but man really hasn't changed that much.
Self-centered,
Absolutely, then and
hard,
now.
It's hard for people
Right.
to look past themselves a lot of times.
Oh,
and again, maybe not intentional, but it's human nature to kind of put self first. And
It's all about me.
Well, it is. I mean, in this season, which is supposed to be about the story that we're talking about, we get caught up in, what am I getting? What can I get?
right.
For, it's a me deal.
Oh, definitely.
A lot of times, and again, not everybody, but I think it's just the society we live in, it's easy to fall into that trap. It's easy to be about myself.
You're all over that. That's exactly right. It's all about. Well, actually, I've said a million times, sin is very simple. Sin is about self.
Right.
And righteousness is about God. And if we choose ourselves over God, our story over God's story, our prosperity over what God's got planned for, it's a sin. Anything that separates us from God is a sin. And the biggest obstacle we have is self.
Right.
I'm with you 100%. That's why I love coaching so much. All my life, I got to promote a Christian value to the team. How many times did I get to say, fellas, it's not about you. It's about your teammate. How can you make him better? And I'm so thankful to God I had the opportunity to do that, because that is the story of Christianity for sure.
It's awesome, no doubt.
Yeah.
We're up against another break. Stay tuned.
What?
We're inside Cornerstone right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
As your State Farm team, we will be there for you with the financial strength to deliver on our promises. Service that's a sure thing. You can think of us as your good neighbors who help protect what's important to you. We're here when you need us the most. You can call us 24/7 to get answers to your questions, file a claim, or see if we can find you more ways to save. We have many coverages and many discounts. We can help protect more areas of your life and find every discount you qualify for along the way. Please call us or visit 2048 Cherokee Road for coverage you can count on.
Amanda Scroggins with RE/MAX Around the Lake will cover every inch of Lake Martin's 880 miles of shoreline to find your family's dream home. Amanda's experience is top-notch, and she is consistently a top 10 RE/MAX agent in the state of Alabama. Her love for her clients is sincere and from the heart. Call her today at 256-749-6634 or visit her website, amandascroggins.com today.
Medicine Express Family Pharmacy, located conveniently at the corner of Airport Drive and Highway 280 in Alexander City, offers friendly service, convenient drive-through service, and can answer any questions on prescriptions and vitamins. Local family owned with 30-plus years of pharmacy experience, they also offer compounding services, which includes personalized hormone replacement, therapies, and pain gels. And they accept most insurance and discount cards. Go see them today at Medicine Express Family Pharmacy.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Welcome back, everyone, to Inside Cornerstone, and maybe we'll run some film from during the breaks. That would be pretty funny.
I will personally make a contribution to the future of Kane if he will run a Karen Carpenter number sometime. He didn't have to play the whole song, but just play a little bit of it. I guarantee you we can relate it to Scripture if we.
I'm sure you can.
She's angelic. Karen
is.
Carpenter. I mean, I'm sorry.
What a tragic ending to her life.
Yeah, bulimia and anorexia.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's how she passed. And
You know, she was a good drummer, by the way.
she was a fantastic drummer.
She may be one of the best
You know,
drummers.
you know what? Her brother. We're gonna get off this, but her brother in an interview said, you know what she wanted to be known as?
What?
A drummer who sang.
Well, she could play, no doubt.
She could play. She could sing too.
Yeah, she could.
Hey, Kane found her. You do know her,
He
Kane.
knows exactly who you're talking about.
Let's go on now.
Mission accomplished.
All right.
All right, let's talk about Joseph. We go from
Karen Carpenter to Joseph.
So,
Yeah.
hey, talking about Carpenter, that's a little bit of a
Joseph was a carpenter.
right,
That we
right.
did that on purpose,
I think
Brett.
so.
You know we did.
We segued into that. Hey, look, in the Christmas story, you hear a lot about Mary. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
you hear a lot about Jesus being born. Other characters, Joseph. He's kind of the guy that gets left out.
He's also the guy that got him to Bethlehem.
Yeah,
They
no
don't
doubt.
do it without him.
Right.
You know, Brett, I guess you probably know this. I never really thought about it. He says nothing. There's no words that Joseph says in the Bible.
No mention of anything.
And we pretty much believe, theologians believe, that he died before Jesus started his ministry, because when he was 30 years old when he started his ministry. Well,
Right.
what was the first miracle? Changing water into wine. And who asked for that? Mary. Joseph is nowhere to be found. And it was a family get-together. You know, the whole family was there, and the disciples.
Right.
And then on the cross, he looks at John and says, take care, behold your mother. Well, there's no mention of Joseph. And this is interesting. In many places in the Bible, they call Jesus son of Joseph. Isn't that the carpenter's son? You know, isn't that Joseph's son, the carpenter? But the gospel writers never refer to Joseph as Jesus' father. It was always God was the father, and Joseph was the earthly father. That's right. And you know, it was 3 days, Brett. It took 3 days to get to Bethlehem.
It did.
Over rocks on a
It was-
donkey with a pregnant lady
This
on
was
it.
not a paved road.
Oh, no.
This was a very grueling journey.
He was righteous.
Cold,
He was a good man. And think about this too. You know, today, teen pregnancy is prevalent. We know all about that. I'm not going to get into that. But back in those days, you died.
Right.
You stoned them. And from the beginning, even before the angel in a dream told him what was going on, he was trying to protect Mary.
He was.
He was a
that's
good
the part
man.
That, gets that doesn't get talked about a lot.
I
is
agree.
When the angel came and told him, that's the first thing he thought about is, you know, how am I gonna
Take care
how are
of
we
her.
gonna pull this off?
Yeah.
So
He was a doer. He just got up and did it.
So look, I know this is interesting, and you know, Joseph didn't have a lot, obviously, about him in the Bible, or is not mentioned very much, and doesn't have anything as far as what he said. But that time frame, and I get asked this a lot, you know, of Jesus growing up.
The unknown years.
Yeah, well, I wonder what all went on during that time with Joseph and his relationship with Jesus.
Well, there's one verse of scripture after the 12-year-old experience in the temple. They lose Jesus, by the way, for 3 days. I mean, it's either
Right.
3 or 7, right?
That's right.
So
It's
they
always
lose him
3.
for 3 days. They find him. And first off, think about this. Joseph, as the leader, would take them at the Passover. Where would they go? They went to the temple. He was a faithful Jewish man.
Right.
And then what does it say? And Jesus grew tall and strong. And it talks about those next, 18 years of his life before we see him entering his ministry, that he grew tall and strong and in the way of God. And I mean, Mary and Joseph were part of that.
Right.
You know, they were the providers. God chooses parents too. If you look at the Bible, God chooses parents.
So do you think
For these-
the part of Joseph, we don't know what happened to Joseph.
No.
So do you think the part of that is in that those lost years of Jesus, and then all of a sudden Jesus reemerges at 30 and you know, begins his ministry, that Joseph had passed before then, and that was part of that? Because why
That's
else
what
would,
most
why would you,
theologians think,
Why would
yeah.
you put something just randomly in there? Oh, and by the way, Joseph passed away during, when Jesus was 23 years old or whatever. Yeah, I think, I've heard people ask that question. How many years did Jesus go without having Joseph on earth?
That's interesting.
So of course nobody knows the answer.
Well, I think it's pretty clear 3 years before he died on the cross.
Of course,
but probably, I mean, and he had brothers now.
Right.
They're mentioned, and they were at the turning the water into wine.
Right.
They were there. And a couple of them eventually became followers. Well, James, one of his brothers, was the head of the church in Jerusalem. So they had other children.
You would think it just, that's a big piece.
But back in those days, Brett, there was a lot of things that killed you.
No doubt.
I mean, the Romans running around on horseback and disregard from the rulers. And
there was a series that came out. I can't remember which channel it was on, called The Mysteries of the Bible. I think one of the mysteries.
The Lost Years of Joseph.
I think it was. I mean, just and the relationship of Jesus having a father figure, really learning how to become a carpenter.
Right.
Joseph was a carpenter. Yeah. So learning those skills, how long did he have him, during those years?
That's right.
So
well, I think that Joseph was a devout follower of God. He was the perfect earthly father for Jesus to take him to the fields of those sacred lambs that would be sacrificed on Passover. It was God's will. That's where Jesus was to be born, and amongst shepherds. And how many? We could do 2 or 3 shows on Jesus's references to shepherds.
Right.
I'm the great shepherd. He was a shepherd, and he talked about it all the time. So there's so much stuff in the Christmas story that just launches out into all areas of the Bible. But yes, what happened to Joseph is interesting. And no, I don't think we know.
No, I don't. I mean, again, there's a lot of I don't want to say holes, but a lot of gaps in stories in the Bible that you read, and it's not meant for you to know every single detail, or there wasn't somebody sitting there transcribing every little detail of everything that happened. Not to diminish Joseph and who he was, but why would somebody write about that?
Right, I don't know. That's man for you, I guess. But when we leave this discussion on this program and later on in our life, here's what we take from this. God chose an earthly father figure for Jesus, and it was Joseph. Thus said.
Yeah.
I mean, it was God's plan.
It's not a mistake.
No.
It was done all by plan.
And Jesus kind of emerges into his independence, if you think about it. We don't even hear much about Mary. After the turning of the water into wine, Mary kind of disappeared. Now, Mary was even a member of the early church, but, Jesus becomes the Messiah. You know what I mean?
Right.
The Son of God, and he didn't need anything else but God during his ministry to sustain him.
Right.
So I think that might be part of it.
Could be.
It wasn't meant for Joseph to be around during those 3 years.
Maybe so.
I don't know.
Maybe so. Interesting
Fun
stuff.
to talk about.
Yeah, it is fun to talk about. And, go back to Joseph and his appearance being not saying he's a commoner, but a carpenter that, I'm sure is a gruff guy. But the gentleness, like you said, the combination of what you get with him really kind of makes who he is.
Back in those days, if your wife got pregnant from another guy, multiply how it would be today times 100. I mean, there's nobody but Joseph that would have maybe even done what he did in that scenario.
Right. Well, and I think it was, there was doubt, and from his standpoint,
he needed a dream.
And talk about that a little bit. How he had to be, and not convinced, but that again for both Mary and Joseph, to be chosen as this and playing this role in what's the biggest part of the biggest story in the world.
Right. You know, Mary had the angel appear. But Joseph, it was all dreams. I mean, there were 3 obvious dreams, but actually, if you look at the Bible closely, there were actually 4 dreams. But the first one was, don't worry about Mary. She's going to have God's son, right? So number 2 was Herod had got his assassins out there searching for 2-year-olds, said, so you need to go to Egypt. And Brett, what a fantastic concept. Back where it all started in Egypt, Jesus goes there to start his journey. Isn't that something?
That's pretty crazy.
And then, of course, Herod died. So now you can take him back up there. There's one more dream where he didn't want to go. One of Herod's sons apparently was a lunatic, and they bypassed him. So, you know, it was interesting. Dreams for Joseph. It was all dreams, and he believed them all.
A lot of interesting stuff there for sure. We're going to take a break. Come back. One more segment here on today's show.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
As your State Farm team, we will be there for you with the financial strength to deliver on our promises. Service, that's a sure thing. You can think of us as your good neighbors who help protect what's important to you. We're here when you need us the most. You can call us 24/7 to get answers to your questions, file a claim, or see if we can find you more ways to save. We have many coverages and many discounts. We can help protect more areas of your life and find every discount you qualify for along the way. Please call us or visit 2048 Cherokee Road for coverage you can count on.
Medicine Express Family Pharmacy, located conveniently at the corner of Airport Drive and Highway 280 in Alexander City, offers friendly service, convenient drive-through service, and can answer any questions on prescriptions and vitamins. Local family owned with 30-plus years of pharmacy experience, they also offer compounding services, which includes personalized hormone replacement, therapies, and pain gels. And they accept most insurance and discount cards. Go see them today at Medicine Express Family Pharmacy.
Amanda Scroggins with RE/MAX Around the Lake will cover every inch of Lake Martin's 880 miles of shoreline to find your family's dream home. Amanda's experience is top-notch, and she is consistently a top 10 RE/MAX agent in the state of Alabama. Her love for her clients is sincere and from the heart. Call her today at 256-749-6634 or visit her website, amandascroggins.com today.
For 30 years, Derek Blythe has built a reputation in the Alexander City area as the family attorney. He's always been passionate about fighting for his clients because he believes everyone deserves an advocate in their corner. People of his community deserve to have someone in their corner to fight for them. And he loves making lasting relationships with those people and their family. Whether you're seeking child custody, divorce, visitation, looking for compensation after being injured in a car accident, probating an estate, dealing with a contractual dispute, fighting.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Welcome back, everyone. Final segment here on the show, and great talk about the story. And
we've had fun during the show and off
well,
air.
probably more.
Well,
off
both.
So.
I mean, for sure. Some of the music.
Bring Karen Carpenter back for you.
If we could do a whole show with Karen Carpenter, I would just sit here and smile. I mean, really, I would. It would be unbelievable.
Well, I told you how you can.
What a voice,
Yeah.
man.
No, again.
Who's
probably,
who's your favorite female singer?
That's
Tough.
a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know that
You
I
ever
have
heard
one.
of a lady named Petula Clark? You ever heard of her?
I don't guess I have.
Well, that's not good, Brad.
Petula Clark.
Yeah, that's
What'd she sing?
Downtown.
Okay. Yeah.
You know,
know exactly who you're
but
talking about.
yeah.
Guess I just
And how
didn't
about
know who it
and
was.
Carly Simon?
I definitely know Carly Simon.
But let me tell you something here before we go to something spiritual.
Okay.
I can't be a James Taylor fan because James Taylor did Carly Simon wrong. And I'm sorry, you don't do Carly Simon wrong.
James Taylor. did
James
Carly.
Taylor did. Have you ever heard the song "You're So Vain"?
Yes.
About who do you think?
That's about him.
Yeah.
Wow. Never knew that.
Well, now you do.
How about that? So she wrote that. She was the back in the day Taylor Swift, wasn't she? Writing songs about past
well,
boyfriends, and I guess
well,
that's what that was about, right?
comparing people to Carly Simon probably not going to go far with me.
Really?
Yeah, I like Carly Simon.
Okay.
I like
I'm
her
just using that
songs.
as a
But now
reference.
Karen Carpenter's
I'm just
got
saying
the
that Taylor
voice.
Swift writes a bunch of songs when she breaks up with somebody.
Yeah.
And it sounds like Carly Simon wrote a song.
Yeah,
about
I see
about
that
a breakup.
similarity.
You see what I'm
You're
saying?
right.
That's-
Yeah, I do.
I'm not saying that Taylor Swift is Carly Simon.
I'm glad to hear it. All right, here we
You're
go.
a Taylor Swift fan. Probably Reba McEntire, by the way.
No, I'm not.
If my favorite.
Oh,
female.
Reba McEntire.
Probably
yeah.
my favorite, by the way.
Well, that's
if
a
I had
good
to
one.
If I
then.
had to name one, it'd probably.
That's a good one.
All right, so your sermon. Let's lead into that. What a great segue
Yeah,
from
sure.
favorite female vocalist to your sermon on Sunday.
Well, you know, Christians, you know, we have fun and we have some activities where bands come. It wasn't that long ago where you got ripped off at the.
Let's not bring up that.
Okay.
Let's not
Well,
bring up that.
we had a group singing secular songs,
Oh, we
and
did.
we were having a blast with them and
Hey.
having a good time. And I think that we as Christians go out into this world and try to set a great example and be a part of all that. I mean, without being tempted and doing the wrong things,
right.
of
You
course.
can have
but,
fun.
Yeah,
I mean,
but the world needs to see Christians having a good time. This stuff about being down in the mouth all the time and stuff like that. Come on, I mean, Jesus
and
came to
walking a
bring us
tight-
joy.
Walking a tightrope.
Yeah. So you want to talk about the message?
I'd love to.
Okay. Okay.
Or Karen Carpenter, or
Oh no, don't go there.
or Carly,
no,
or Carly
let's,
Simon, or
let's keep our
no
focus.
Elton John.
Oh my goodness, man.
All right, let's
All right.
roll.
Well, the title of the message was Where There's Room. And it goes back to the end, of course. But the actual theme of the message is that there was never any room for Jesus. I mean, where was there room for Jesus? And later on, you know, Jesus would do the Sermon on the Mount, greatest sermon ever preached.
Right.
And a teacher came up and said, I'll follow you wherever you go. And Jesus said, foxes have dens, birds have nests, but the Son of God has no place to lay his head, once again signifying there was no room for Jesus. He goes up to have the disciples to pray in the garden of, in the Mount of Olives, and comes back in there asleep. No room for Jesus. The rock of the church denies him 3 times. His disciples, they leave him. Caiaphas and Pilate and Herod bounce him around like a ping pong ball because nobody wants to take responsibility. Send him to this person. And finally they kill him. But here's the whole gist of the sermon. The truth is not that Jesus has no room in the world. He doesn't. But the truth is that we have room in Christ. And I used a couple of scriptures like the upper room where Jesus said, let not your hearts be troubled. Believe in God. Believe also in me. What does he say? In my Father's house are many rooms. Jesus goes to prepare a room for us. It's not about him not having a room at the end. It's about providing a room for us for all eternity because he came and died on the cross and made room for us. So where there is room is at the cross. And I sang a little song.
You did sing a little song.
Yeah, and I hope Very few threw up. I mean, there might have been a few, but you know, there's room at the cross for you. That was the name of it. There is room at the cross for all of us. Jesus died so that we would have a room. So a different way of looking at room.
No, I think that's a great perspective, and I think I took something out of that. You talking about there's never room for Jesus here or never room for Jesus there. That speaks a lot about people in general.
We didn't even talk about today.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you don't
we gotta
have
talk about that,
room for Jesus where you are currently. It's a convenience. It's not I want to walk or I want to have Jesus walk with me wherever I go. And I think you used an example of a college kid.
FCA skit, yes.
Going to a party and saying, I think, Jesus, you stay here while I go
watch some TV.
Yeah, and then I'll be back, and then we can resume our relationship. And I think that, man, we all fit into that mold.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, in 1973, I did a message called Merry Xmas. And I don't know if you probably don't remember that, Brett, but we went through a time where all the stores had, you know, Merry Xmas on it. Literally taking Christ out of the word Christmas. And now we call it Happy Holidays now. And I went into schools. You know, this hurts me. I mean, because I live my life in schools. And, hey, you can't wear a T-shirt with Christ on it anymore. And why you got that cross on that necklace? And, you know, no room for Jesus in the world.
You know, and again, we don't make anything political out here, but, you know, I remember several years ago, Donald Trump coming out saying, we're going to say Merry Christmas, and we're going to call it the Christmas tree. And he made a point to talk about that because that was getting lost.
Was there pushback on
that? Was. I mean, there was it wasn't a pushback on that. He was just saying that everybody was substituting Happy Holidays and things like that for Merry Christmas, and it wasn't kosher to say Merry Christmas anymore.
Right.
And he brought that to light, and I thought that was important.
The reason that's true is they don't Christ.
Right.
That's what they take issue with, and it doesn't. It's not socially acceptable. It shows some kind of lack of respect for the other religions.
Why do you think people have? Okay, you just said it. Maybe you just answered my question before I even got it out. But why over time in society has such a problem with Christians recognizing Jesus Christ? Why is that such a problem for others? We don't have a problem, Coach, when others want to worship the way they want to worship and they want to worship another God. But why is it always an attack or always, well, dude, you can't do that, or well, you can't say that? Why is it that way that throughout time it's been that way against Christians?
Well, I think there's a couple of possible answers to that. Number one is the scripture where Jesus says, I'm the way, the truth, and the life, and here it comes. No man cometh to the Father except by me. And the other religion, when we say that and we believe that, and I do believe that,
I do too.
It excludes every other way that man has tried to get to God. No, there's only one way to get to God, and there's the controversy in it. It offends other people that think that, well, no, there's another way. And even sometimes we battle this even within the church itself. There are other ways. No, there's not. There's one way. If we're a Christian and we believe the Bible, and we do, then we got to believe that Christ is the only way. One more thing. This is pretty profound. In every other religion, it's about you dying for God. In Christianity, it's about God dying for you. That's pretty strong.
That is very strong.
Yeah.
You see in the other religions people becoming a martyr.
Oh, yeah.
Or things like that.
Yeah, they die for their God, and our God died for us.
Right.
That's pretty different.
It couldn't get more extreme.
Yeah, and I think that is what causes the controversy.
Well, I think you just summed all of that up about as well as anybody. It's just the persecution and the attack on Christianity just seems to be consistent across the board, across time. And it continues on, and maybe as bad or worse today as it has ever been. So, well,
but a
Coach,
ton of joy that goes with it.
a lot of joy. And again, want to remind everybody we got a lot coming up this coming up week, and then next week leading into Christmas. And our next week's show, we'll have a show leading up to that, and probably the following week, right after Christmas, we won't have a show that on actual Christmas. Be 2 days after. I think there'll be a lot of people on break and stuff, but we'll have a show next week to kind of let everybody know about the plans and things that are coming up. So we want everybody to tune in. We'll keep everybody up to speed.
Hey, Kane, can you hear me?
He can hear you.
All right, Karen Carpenter sings "Merry Christmas, Darling."
He definitely knows
If there's any way, I mean, I think I'll be working on some devotional thoughts with that.
I think
that would be. What a Christmas present.
I think he said that maybe you play that next week. So we'll see.
Did you see what he did? He does the shrug.
Well, he's shrugging because we got to go. Hey, but that's going to wrap it up for this edition of Inside Cornerstone. We'll see you next week.
Love you.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
For 30 years, Derek Blythe has built a reputation in the Alexander City area as the family attorney. He's always been passionate about fighting for his clients because he believes everyone deserves an advocate in their corner. People of his community deserve to have someone in their corner to fight for them. And he loves making lasting relationships with those people and their family. Whether you're seeking child custody, divorce, visitation, looking for compensation after being injured in a car accident, probating an estate, dealing with a contractual dispute, fighting criminal charges, Eric Blythe is here for you.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Medicine Express Family Pharmacy, located conveniently at the corner of Airport Drive and Highway 280 in Alexander City, offers friendly service, convenient drive-through service, and can answer any questions on prescriptions and vitamins. Local family owned with 30-plus years of pharmacy experience, they also offer compounding services, which includes personalized hormone replacement, therapies, and pain gels. And they accept most insurance and discount cards. Go see them today at Medicine Express Family Pharmacy.
As your State Farm team, we will be there for you with the financial strength to deliver on our promises. Service that's a sure thing. You can think of us as your good neighbors who help protect what's important to you. We're here when you need us the most. You can call us 24/7 to get answers to your questions, file a claim, or see if we can find you more ways to save. We have many coverages and many discounts. We can help protect more areas of your life and find every discount you qualify for along the way. Please call us or visit 2048 Cherokee Road for coverage you can count on.